What if we could make our brains stay young, even as we get older?
It sounds like science fiction.
But new research is suggesting it might actually be possible.
We're diving into some fascinating studies published just today, October 29th, 2024,
That explores a potential link between brain aging and a protein called F-actin
from sources like Nature Communications, GEN.
and drug target review.
This deep dive is going to unpack exactly what this discovery could mean for all of us.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is this F-actin and what does it do?
Well, every cell in our bodies has a kind of scaffolding that gives it shape and structure, and that scaffolding is made up of a protein called F-actin. It's essential for cells to move, divide, and do their jobs.
So it's like the framework that holds everything together.
Exactly.
But what does that have to do with aging brains?
Scientists have been studying fruit flies, which, believe it or not, are surprisingly helpful for understanding human aging. Yeah, they found that as these flies get older, the levels of F-actin in their brains increase, and that increase in F-actin seems to be directly linked to cognitive decline and a shorter lifespan.
So it's like this buildup of F-actin is gumming up the works, making the fly's brains age faster.
That's a good way to put it.
But is there anything we can do about it?
Now that's the exciting part. Researchers have found that restricting the fly's diet and using a drug called rapamycin,
Which are both known to extend lifespan.
right, they also seem to reduce the buildup of F-actin in their brains.
Hold on, does that mean eating less and taking this rapamycin could help keep our brains young?
It's too early to say for sure, but the correlation is definitely there. To really understand if F-actin is the culprit behind aging, scientists took things a step further. They actually manipulated the genes of fruit flies to see if they could directly prevent this F-actin buildup.
They messed with the fly's DNA.
They did. They targeted a specific gene called Fhos, which is involved in how F-actin forms in cells. By essentially turning down this gene's activity, they were able to prevent the buildup of F-actin in the fly's brains.
And what happened?
The results were pretty remarkable. The flies with reduced F-actin lived significantly longer,
How much longer are we talking?
a 25 to 30% increase in lifespan.
Wow.
But it gets even better. They didn't just live longer, they lived healthier. They showed improvements in brain function, memory learning, and even markers of overall health in other parts of their bodies.
So by tackling this one protein in the brain, they were able to boost the fly's health and lifespan dramatically.
That's right.
But how is reducing F-actin having such a profound effect? What's the mechanism here?
Well, it turns out that when the scaffolding of F-actin gets too cluttered with excess actin, it can interfere with the cell's ability to clean up its own internal waste.
So it's like F-actin is clogging up the cell's garbage disposal system.
Precisely.
And that's what's causing the problem.
It seems that way. This garbage disposal system, by the way, is called autophagy. It's the process by which cells break down and recycle their waste. And autophagy is crucial for keeping cells healthy and functioning properly.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here. So by reducing F-actin, the scientists were essentially unclogging the cell's garbage disposal, allowing autophagy to work more efficiently.
Exactly.
But how do we know that's what's driving these amazing results?
The researchers did another clever experiment. They removed F-actin in some flies, but also disabled their autophagy process. The lifespan benefits vanished. That's pretty strong evidence that autophagy is playing a key role here.
So it seems like keeping our cellular cleaning crews running smoothly is crucial for healthy aging.
It definitely seems that way.
And this F-actin protein might be a key target for making that happen. This is all incredibly exciting.
It really is.
But I imagine there are some potential downsides and ethical considerations to think about too, right?
Of course. There are always two sides to every coin. We need to consider those carefully as well. Exactly. We need to be aware of the complexities involved. We're still in the early stages of understanding how F-actin impacts aging.
So what are some of the potential downsides we should be considering? What could go wrong if we start targeting F-actin in humans?
Well, remember, F-actin isn't just in our brains. It's found throughout the body, playing crucial roles in various cellular functions.
Right.
If we try to manipulate F-actin levels, especially in a complex organism like a human,
We could really mess things up.
we need to be very careful about unintended effects.
Can you give us some specific examples of what could happen?
Imagine, for instance, that reducing F-actin in the brain inadvertently affects its levels in muscles.
Oh,
That could lead to muscle weakness, impaired movement,
I see.
or even problems with wound healing. We need a much deeper understanding of how F-actin interacts with different systems in the body before we can safely manipulate its levels.
So it's not as simple as just finding a way to reduce F-actin.
It's not. We need to proceed with caution and make sure we understand the full picture before we start developing any therapies targeting F-actin.
That makes sense. But that doesn't diminish the excitement surrounding this discovery, does it?
Not at all. The potential benefits are enormous. Think about the possibilities if we could safely enhance autophagy and slow down or even reverse brain aging in humans.
It's mind-boggling. We could be looking at a future where people maintain their cognitive abilities and live healthier, more fulfilling lives well into what we currently consider old age.
Precisely. And remember, this research is just the tip of the iceberg. It's opening up entirely new avenues for exploring the aging process and developing interventions that could dramatically improve human health span and lifespan.
So what are the next steps for the scientists involved in this study? Where do they go from here?
Well, the most obvious next step is to try to replicate these findings in other animal models,
Like,
like mice or even primates. If the results hold true in mammals, it would significantly strengthen the case for exploring potential therapeutic applications in humans.
and what about the potential for using this knowledge to treat existing age-related diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's? Could this research offer new hope for people suffering from these devastating conditions?
That's a question researchers are definitely exploring. We know that autophagy plays a role in many neurodegenerative diseases. If reducing F-actin can boost autophagy in the brain, it's conceivable that it could have therapeutic benefits for these conditions.
It's like we're on the cusp of a revolution in how we understand and treat age-related diseases. This is really exciting stuff. But before we get carried away with the possibilities, it's important to remember that this research focused specifically on the brain. Does autophagy play a role in other parts of the body as well?
You're absolutely right. Autophagy isn't just limited to the brain. It's essential for the health and function of every cell in our bodies.
So it's not just about keeping our brains clean.
Not at all. Our cells are constantly breaking down and recycling components, a bit like a cellular recycling center. This process helps to clear out damaged parts, eliminate toxins, and keep everything running smoothly.
So it's like a constant spring cleaning for our cells.
That's a great analogy.
And as we age, this cellular cleaning process, like many things, becomes less efficient.
Exactly. The garbage disposal starts to get clogged, so to speak. That buildup of cellular debris can contribute to all sorts of age-related problems, from wrinkles and sagging skin to more serious issues like heart disease, cancer, and those neurodegenerative disorders we talked about.
So finding ways to boost autophagy throughout the body could have far-reaching benefits for overall health and longevity.
Exactly. It's about promoting cellular renewal and helping our bodies function at their best even as we age. That's why this research on F-actin is so exciting. It gives us a potential target for enhancing autophagy and potentially slowing down the aging process.
This all sounds incredibly promising. But is there anything we can do right now to boost autophagy naturally before these potential F-actin therapies become a reality?
Absolutely. While we wait for the science to catch up, there are things we can do to support our body's natural cleaning processes.
Like,
A healthy lifestyle is a great foundation. Regular exercise, a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and getting enough sleep are all crucial for promoting healthy autophagy.
so the good old advice of taking care of ourselves still holds true.
It does.
That's reassuring. Are there any other, maybe more unconventional ways to boost autophagy that research is uncovering?
There are some very interesting areas of research emerging. For instance, there's evidence that intermittent fasting can activate autophagy pathways, and some studies suggest that certain supplements like resveratrol found in red grapes and spermidine found in aged cheese might also have autophagy boosting effects.
Intermittent fasting and cheese. Interesting. But seriously, are there any downsides to these approaches?
It's important to approach any new health trend with a healthy dose of skepticism and consult with your doctor before making any drastic changes to your diet or lifestyle. More research is always needed to fully understand the long-term effects and potential risk of any intervention.
That's sound advice. So while we wait for the scientific community to delve deeper into the possibilities of F-actin and autophagy, we can focus on building healthy habits to support our body's natural cleaning processes. It seems like a good strategy for healthy aging, regardless of what future discoveries may bring.
I completely agree. Taking care of ourselves today is the best investment we can make in our future health and well-being. But it's also important to stay informed and engaged with the latest scientific advancements. The field of aging research is moving at an incredible pace, and who knows what groundbreaking discoveries are just around the corner.
This whole conversation has been incredibly eye-opening. It's amazing to think that we might be on the verge of cracking the code of aging and unlocking a future where people can live longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
It truly is an exciting time to be alive. But with all this talk of potential breakthroughs and future possibilities, it's important to remember that aging is a complex process influenced by a multitude of factors.
Right, it's not just about one protein or one magic bullet.
Yeah.
Our genes, our environment, and our lifestyle choices all play a role in how we age.
Exactly. And while we're making incredible strides in understanding the biology of aging, we can't lose sight of the importance of living a balanced and meaningful life today.
Well said. It seems like the key takeaway here is that while we eagerly await the potential for groundbreaking therapies, we can take proactive steps to support our health and well-being right now.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe by the time these new discoveries translate into real-world treatments, we'll be even better equipped to embrace the possibilities of a longer, healthier future.
I, for one, am incredibly optimistic about what the future holds. But before we get too caught up in visions of a world where aging is a thing of the past, let's take a step back and consider what a world like that might actually look like. What are the societal, economic, and even philosophical implications of extending human lifespan significantly? That's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring some groundbreaking research on reversing brain aging.
Talking about F-actin autophagy.
And the potential for extending lifespan and health span.
But now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What happens if we actually succeed in slowing down
Or even reversing.
aging in humans? What would a world with significantly extended lifespans look like?
It's mind-boggling to think about. We're talking about potentially reshaping society. Our current systems are all built around a certain lifespan. What happens when those assumptions are no longer true?
Well, let's start with the workforce. Imagine people routinely working well into their 80s, 90s, or even beyond.
While still being sharp and productive.
Exactly. It could lead to a more experienced and productive workforce.
But wouldn't that create huge competition for jobs?
It would require us to rethink traditional retirement models and potentially create new opportunities for lifelong learning and career transitions.
That's a good point. What about healthcare? If people are living longer, healthier lives, wouldn't that reduce the burden of age-related diseases?
It could, but it also raises questions about resource allocation and the sustainability of healthcare systems that are already struggling to keep up.
So longer lifespans could create new problems.
You'd need to find solutions. There are also deeper philosophical questions to ponder.
Like what?
What does it mean to be human if we can potentially control our own aging process? Does it change our perception of life's value or alter how we approach our goals and relationships?
It's a lot to wrap our heads around. On the one hand, the prospect of extending healthy lifespans is incredibly exciting. Imagine having more time to pursue our passions, deepen our relationships, and contribute to society. But on the other hand, it raises ethical dilemmas and existential questions that we as a society need to grapple with.
We can't just focus on the science without considering the potential impact on humanity as a whole. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of aging, it's crucial to have these conversations and ensure that any advancements are used responsibly and ethically.
It's a balancing act for sure. But one thing is clear, this research has opened up a Pandora's box of possibilities.